Hello and welcome to our final match of the 2022 Lacrosse Australia Senior National Championships from the Footscray Lacrosse Club here in the west of Melbourne. Lachlan Williams once again bringing you the action, joined by Bridget Hogan. Bridget, hello.
Hello, very excited to be here.
It's a fantastic afternoon. The sun is shining finally, so you've brought the sun back out for us, which is fantastic. There are a couple of clouds off in the distance, but hopefully nothing too threatening. Fantastic to see Victoria back in action against Western Australia for this final. Victoria dominant all week, but what can we expect out there this afternoon, Bridget?
I think both teams will come out very strong. WA came off a really close win yesterday against South Australia, so hopefully they'll be aiming to really make their mark early and not have to go into such a nail-biting sort of game. Victoria have been so strong all week, and I think they're also going to be looking to start really strong. They have so much depth in both teams, so much speed, so much agility. I think it's going to be a really fast, really competitive game.
Definitely. And unfortunately for Western Australia, you might be able to confirm this for us, Bridget. Ashton Hiron, have we got any news there?
My understanding is Ashton Hiron will not be able to play due to penalties throughout the tournament.
Yep.
Fortunately, just a few, too many cards.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not sure
a
exactly
cards accumulation, I would guess, would be the rule. In a game that we saw earlier in the week, she was red carded. So this is the lineup for the Victorians out there, just stars all over the pitch. Anyone that stands out for you there, Bridget, or is it? It's hard to pick one, really.
Yeah, there's so many. There's so much depth in that team. There is such a number of girls representing Australia in the coming month.
Exactly, and the West Australians, well, they're just as strong. Just some great players out there as well. We're just about to see them enter the field of play, and we'll hand it over to our MC to get us underway.
And welcome everybody to the 2022 Lacrosse Australia Women's Final. Introducing today's referees, we have charge official Tammy Varga. Umpires today, Amy Basil and Natalie Owens. Bench official, Kelly Morley. Introducing the West Australia team, we have number 1, Demi Chinsky. Number 4, Shannon Mitchell. Number 5, Bailey Rose Keenan. Number 6, Tegan Brown. Number 7, Holly Plummer. Number 10, Bailey Eastman. Number 11, Riley McGee. Number 12, Madison Copeland. Number 17, Erin Mitchell. Number 19, Rhiannon Chenoweth. Number 20, Natasha Bronkhorst. 22, Julie Amers. 26, Kate Hooper. 27, Olivia Antilov. And 33, Emma Green. Head coach, Megan Shanks. And team manager, Faye Meadman. Introducing the Victorian team, we have number 1, Lauren Hunter. Number 2, Sarah Smith. Number 3, Rebecca Lane. Number 5, Rachel Kirkheimer. Number 6, Sasha Pollins. Number 7, Taylor Cometto. Number 9, Sarah Mollison. Number 10, Hayley Stefanos. Number 11, Meg Bown. Number 12, Theodora Quass. Number 16, Paige McGibbon. Number 18, Molly Dunham. Number 20, Danelle Mollison. Number 21, Stacey Morlang. 22, Roshan Brady. 23, Steph McNamara. 27, Shaylee Stringer. Number 70, Stacey Wright. And 71, Esther Lavelle. Coaches, Megan Mollison and Sue McSullivan. Team manager, Erin Mollison. Team statistician, Sarah Nobbs. Team physio, Adam Joff. And team trainer, Jen Plum. Good luck to all the girls today, and may the best team win. And could we all be upstanding for the national anthem?
players have been introduced, the anthem has been sung, and we are just moments away from this final getting started. Bridget, your final thoughts before we get underway? Have you got a prediction potentially for me as well?
Honestly, I'm very excited. I know Victoria has a very strong midfield. I think they've got their 3 starters will probably all be senior Australian players on the circle. I'm not exactly sure who WA are going to put up. I think they have so much speed and a lot of young talent. So I'm very excited to see. So it looks like we have Rebecca Lane starting for Victoria with Sarah Smith and Thea Koss on the circle.
All Footscray middle for Victoria.
Tegan Brown taking it for Western Australia. She's playing in the Australian Sixers.
Shannon Mitchell out the back with Bailey Rose Keenan topside.
So a lot of athleticism right there in that centre. I think it's going to be a good centre draw.
Just setting ourselves here.
Yep. So Tegan Brown and Rebecca Lane taking that first centre draw. Just like a bit of movement. The umpire's just going to reset up.
Crowd have hung around after the men's final. Victoria taking the win there, looking to make it 2 from 2 here, and we'll do that again.
That'll be a redraw, not quite high enough. So Western Australia also have 3 current Australian players on the circle. We have Tegan, as I mentioned, and we have Shannon Mitchell and Bailey Rose Keenan, who are both in our under-23s team. So everyone will be sort of very fit at the moment, very in great shape.
It's WA that start the better here. Keenan wins it in the middle, but Quas with the interception just knocks it down. Keenan good enough to win it off the ground, avoids the pressure from Quas. And
very quick, and Sarah Smith defending. No foul called there, just going to hold the ball and settle a little bit.
Good start here from Western Australia. They would have loved to have had that first possession, and it's exactly what they've done here.
Yeah, and they just seem to be getting the ball around. That's Kate Hooper with the ball. She's got on the scoreboard quite a bit this tournament.
Yeah, she's had a good week, Kate Hooper. Wouldn't be surprised to see her name bob up in an all-star team later as a good check there from Beck Lane.
Great defence there.
The Sixers match up against each other, Polnitz and Brown.
Pollins. Great defence, just looking to protect that stick, and over to Sarah Mollison. Steph Mack to Theo Koss. Theo just bringing the ball down into the offensive side.
That's the other thing, Bridget, that Victoria's got stars down the attacking end, but they've got just as many in defence as well. So
yeah, all over the field. So starting defenders. For Victoria, we have Steph Mack, one of the captains for the Australian side. Also Rachel Kirchheimer and Sasha Pollins. So very strong defence. So it looks like there's been a foul there, so Rebecca Lane will have the ball. And kicking to Hayley Stefanos behind.
Such an explosive step back lane, and an explosive drive from Hayley Stefanos.
Tries to find Sarah Smith, but doesn't quite come off. But Vic remain with the ball. Sarah Mollison behind. Some great defence there from Erin Mitchell. And Hayley Stefanos looks like she will have a penalty shot.
Just so dangerous, Victoria. You saw Stefanos driving that crease previously, and then they go around again, and it's Sarah Mollison that's queuing up next time, and if she doesn't go, then maybe it's someone like a Beck Lane or a Nellie Mollison. So Hayley Stefanos gets the first shot off, and great save from Olivia Antolov. She's had a fantastic week as well, Bridget. Really liked what she's been putting down this week.
Awesome, and we have Bailey Easton with the ball. Takes a shot, and a great save there from Molly Dunham. Clears it over to Rachel Kirchheimer.
Just composure from the experienced Kirchheimer there.
Yeah, very fast. And Tegan's keeping up with her. I think that might be across the body, that call.
Yeah, we've also seen Tegan Brown have an impressive week. Just so quick to cover the field.
So athletic. think the height is always very helpful in lacrosse, especially her taking the centres as well.
Definitely, but the Victorians will get another look.
Yeah, Theo Koss going on another great save.
So the keeper, Antilov, standing up for WA so far. They come away through Keenan. Smith brings the pressure, and Keenan on the quick restart just continues to go. It's the wind picking up here at the Footscray Lacrosse Club.
Bailey McGee hits Keenan again.
Hooper.
Back with Hooper. Steph Mack just goes for that double, and it's going to be a foul. I think it's just outside, so they might not have to clear the fan. Yep. So when it's just outside, it's just the shooting lane is my understanding. They don't have to clear the whole fan.
Quick feed inside to Tegan Brown. Golden opportunity for the first goal of the game, but just misses wide. The backup will be there for West Australia, though, so they will keep the ball.
Riley McGee with the ball. Finds Tegan Brown.
Keenan inside, just Mitchell thrown off a little bit there.
Hooper with the ball. Handling that pressure very well.
Well done from WA just to settle and rather than just turn the ball over easily, hustle and get it back. Keenan draws a number. Brown gets the shot off this time, just missing again. So
yeah.
Neither side able to capitalise on a couple of early shots.
WA will remain possession. So we have Kate Hooper with the ball matched up with Rachel Kirchhammer. Looks like that one's gone a bit high, but they've still got possession.
Keenan down on the left, gets under
Great
Quas.
drive. Looks like he just got a bit of a stick check there and it went a bit high.
So you've seen Victoria already claim one of the titles, looking to make it 2 from 2 in the home city of Melbourne. Hooper draws the double here.
Yeah, she's got the double there. Just, great
Well done
defense
there.
A lot of pressure there from Sasha Pollins. And Victoria will come up with the ball. Nellie Mollison bringing the ball down, finds Hayley Safans over to Sarah Mollison. Great ball movement. Lauren Hunter, just a little fumble, but fighting to keep the possession.
So no harm done there for Victoria on the dropped pass. Would have been an ideal opportunity for the opening goal.
Thea Koss up the top.
How many times are we going to see this drive down the lane, do you think? Or she goes underside. This time Thea Koss just pulls it across.
And WA will get that back, that shot back up.
Good chasing there.
So Shannon Mitchell.
Good chasing.
Yeah, very good.
And a good clear as well. Beats Nellie Mollison. She's got the whole field in front of her now. Stefanos chases well and brings the pressure, but up to the task.
Yeah, Mitchell does a good job to bring that down safely. Back with Kate Hooper. And Tegan Brown.
Gets inside, but the
drive.
Vics just send the numbers.
And just drawn a foul there, so she'll have a penalty shot.
We were talking about this in the earlier game, Bridget. Looks like she's going to
ready
wind up.
it. Oh, and she's
Tegan
done it.
Brown.
First score of the game.
Yeah, we talked about that in the first match of the day, and I love to see that. Just a huge wind up here and one, two, quick step.
It's a hard thing to do, but it looks nice when they
does.
pull it off. Looks very nice.
And the shot that hard, difficult to stop for Molly Dunham. So it's WA on the board with the first of this one.
So Victoria have pulled Steph Mack up onto the circle. And other than that, looks like the same starting in the centre.
And the blue sky that we had to start the game has just disappeared, and we're covered in cloud now.
So we have a break. So that'll be Victoria Ball with Rebecca Lane.
Wind's just picked up a little.
Steph Mack clearing it down, finds Sarah Mollison. over to Meg Bowen. It's our youngest Victorian player, Meg. Only, I want to say 16 or 17.
Wow.
In her first senior nationals.
Great experience for her. There's
And
Hayley
Hayley
Stefanos,
Stefanos
huge.
Great finish there. Gets Victoria on the scoreboard.
Massive there.
Yeah, another one of our senior Australian players, Hayley. Very strong attacker.
Just drives so hard, and once she got that separation,
Yeah,
she was just a laser into that top corner.
yeah. So much power on that shot.
And often you see her, Bridget, driving that crease around the corner,
Yeah.
but that time coming from the top.
Yeah. It's great to see.
Interesting if we see that throughout the day.
Yeah. There's so many players, I think, in Victoria that will rotate through the crease.
So 1 goal apiece in the early stages of this one. Beck Blaine wins that.
Gets it to herself. Ooh, bit of a check there from Tegan. And the ball will stay with Victoria.
So Beck Lane brings the ball back in for the Vics.
Showing off her speed a little bit. Bringing it down. Go balls with Meg Bowen over to Steph Mack.
Another one of our Aussie stars, Beck Lane. So many of them out there today.
So many.
Sarah Mollison back to Beck.
It's a great drive, and that's a flag. So that'll be a penalty. I think it's checked too close to the head.
So it moves so quickly, Beck Lane, and it's so hard to stop, and puts herself in these spots frequently because of that speed and that step that she's got. She won't wind up. She'll
Great
use
finish.
a couple of steps and put it away. Beck Lane.
So Victoria take the lead for the first time, 2-1.
Yeah, I don't think WA would be too displeased with how things sit at the moment, though. They've
Yeah,
had plenty of ball.
it's definitely this game at the moment. It's looking like it could go either way. We have Kate Hooper taking the centre for Western Australia. I think the last game they played was very close. The last time these two teams met, and I think maybe Victoria got away in the fourth quarter.
I can even talk you through that in a second, Bridget, just as we have the centre draw. We were lucky enough to stream that match. Ball's out from Lane.
Thea Cross.
Huge.
Great percent possession.
Such a great reach on her, Thea Cross, and goes all the way herself. Keeps going and hits the back of the net. Fantastic work there from Theodora Cross. Victoria edge ahead 3-1. So it was nearly a similar story to how this one's started, Bridget. It was the West Australians, I believe they jumped out to a 2-0 lead earlier, and then the Vics got right on top. I think they got out to something like an 8-3 lead. But WA fought their way back, and at one stage it was 8-all. So before the Vics edged ahead again to win that one. But it shows that when the momentum is with either side, they can score and do that in a hurry.
So we have Taylor Cometto in, getting centre possession for Victoria. Finds Nellie Mollison, and just a save from the goalie. Great save there from Olivia Antulov.
Huge save from Antolov there, really stepping up big time. WA will come away with it. Keenan has no one in front of her, so she can just carry it down.
Fast break here for Western Australia. Fine, just missed that pass there. But they will, I think that was a moving pick. So Rachel Kirchhammer will get the ball.
Olivia Antolov making a couple of big saves early. This scoreline could be 4 or 5 to Victoria had she not come up big.
Definitely. Playing very well. Definitely stepped up for the big final. Hayley Stefanos with the ball. Finds Meg Bowen to Nellie Mollison. Sarah Smith. And Lauren Hunter and Taylor Cometto up the top.
It's patient build-up from Victoria this time. Stefanos pulls the trigger, feeds inside, coming around. Nellie Mollison.
It's a great team goal.
They tried it once just before, didn't quite pay off, but this time Nellie does find the back of the net. And what started as a great start for Western Australia has just slipped out of their grasp, and I think they're going to call a timeout to just settle things down a little bit, slow the Victorians' run. With about 2 minutes left in this quarter, Victoria out to a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, it's been very, very back and forth. Both teams looking very quick. Lots of strong players all over the field.
And maybe just at the moment, WA not quite a little bit, just a little bit off a little bit in their attacking end.
Yeah, I think Victoria's come up with the last 2 centres. I think maybe that's what WA will be working on. They might change up their centre.
Yep.
Something to do with their centre to try and just get possession. Get it down their end.
For sure.
I think centre possession will be huge key in this game. Both teams show that they can do a lot with it when they've got it, so it'll just be fighting it out to get that ball to start with.
Victoria, just after a little slow start, they are up and firing now. 4 goals in quick time. I'll be pretty happy with where things stand at the moment. Looks like Kate Hooper's heading into the middle for Western Australia up against Beck Lane.
Yep, so we see Erin Mitchell on the circle with Shannon Mitchell. So the 2 Mitchell sisters on the circle for Western Australia.
Cometto and Quas manning them.
And Western Australia have come out with it.
Big win from...
Shannon looks to find Teague, and unfortunately, pass does not come off. So Steph Mack will bring that ball in, Steph McNamara.
Yeah, so it's little moments like that for Western Australia. Great win in the middle, but need to take care of the ball when they do get it down forward.
Teagan going, almost getting that check off. And Nellie Mollison with the ball.
It's great to watch just that chase down there as well. It's just world-class athletes.
Yeah, 2 very, very quick players.
And we're so blessed with the talented women that we have playing our great game.
Yep, definitely, especially at a time like this when we're so close. Oh, Steph Mack just missing that a bit high. So close to a World Cup. Everyone's at peak performance, peak training, so fit, so fast at the moment. It just makes great lacrosse to watch.
100%.
Sarah Mollison going for a drive. Some great defense there from Erin Mitchell.
So Sarah just sends it down to her cousin, Nellie Mollison.
Beck Lane just a bit of a fumble and just can't quite keep it in. Kate Hooper will take the ball.
So one of the first times we've seen Victoria just turn that one over a little easily.
Yeah.
One of the other things I've been impressed with this week with Olivia Antilov, Bridget, is her clearing ability, just a simple out there, but should they want to go through the middle quickly, she has hit a few of those passes, which has been great.
That's all. It makes such a huge difference when a goalie can comfortably clear and really find their players.
Bailey Eastman now.
Great move there. Looks in the middle.
Big push there from Lauren Hunter.
A penalty shot there for Erin Mitchell.
So the clock is on the field. Not too long remaining. Save there from Molly Dunham. Just held her pipe well.
Steph Mack picks up the ball. Just resetting up. So there's no self-start. We're in the last 30 seconds. So players will have to wait for the umpires.
And the Vics, they wanted one more there.
Missed that pass.
Throwing it out of bounds.
Julie Ames bringing the ball in. Just a bit high. And Bailey Rose Keenan coming up with it just as we go to the end of our first quarter.
The clock does beat West Australia there, so it's a 4-1 lead to Victoria at the first break. After a little slow start, Western Australia getting out of the blocks early. It was Victoria that fought their way back into it, and they hold the ascendancy at quarter time. Our goal scorers so far, Tegan Brown with the opening goal of the game, but firing back through Beck Lane, Hayley Stefanos, Thea Cross, and Danelle Mollison for Victoria. What have you thought of it so far, Bridget?
It's been a great game. I think it's really just both teams have had a lot of the ball and showed that they've got a lot of talent, a lot of skill, and can really clear the ball and get the ball into their attacking ends. I think composure's sort of let both teams down a little bit with missed passes and just not quite connecting the dots. I think that's probably what WA will be focusing on coming into this second quarter. They're definitely showing, like, physically and skill-wise, they're up with the VICs. I think it's just trying to capitalise on all their opportunities and just finish off those shots and make sure they're connecting their passes.
Definitely, and we see a couple of the goals from that first quarter. Tegan Brand with the big first goal. Hayley Stefanos firing right back, and it was all Victoria after that. Great win in the middle from Theo Quass, and just so hard to stop all the way.
A few shots off penalties as well, and I think it shows how important trying to really rein in the fouls. If you foul someone in that 11-metre fan, it is a penalty shot, which are some players are so good at finishing off and scoring. So I think that also might be a focus from both teams to try and really rein in those fouls to try and stop having those penalty shots.
So 4-1, the lead to Victoria.
Bailey Rose Keenan taking her
Keenan
first
in
centre.
the middle.
Both teams have had quite a few players rotating through the centre, which is nice. It's very, very helpful, I think, as a team to be able to change up your centre game. Sometimes when you get dominant teams, they can just figure out how each centre player works, figure out how the opponent works, and just dominate. So it's good, really good to be able to change up your centre game so that no one centre player can just figure out exactly what you're going to do.
So Keenan and Lane go head-to-head in the middle. Lane wins it forward this time, wins the ground ball. She's got Mollison down low, who's got Stefanos down low, finishes. Nice reverse backhand shovel shot.
So Nellie Mollison will bring the ball in for the VICs. Sarah Mollison behind.
So the VICs picking up where they left off, starting strong early. Sarah Mollison down to Nellie Mollison, up to Smith now. Beck Lane in on the left, gets it back to Smith, just a little low.
Great defensive pressure there from Shannon Mitchell.
So the VICs will just keep it after Sarah Smith won that ground ball back.
Hayley Stefanos.
Gets the shot off early.
Victoria will remain possession.
So just trying to catch the WA defence on the back foot a little there, Hayley Stefanos. Theo Quass looks inside for Sarah Smith. Not quite again, so WA have it, and they've got numbers in front of the play, Bridget.
Yeah, very quick team here, showing how quickly they can clear.
Just not quite for Shannon Mitchell, but no harm done. Feeds inside to Mitchell again. Save from Molly Dunham.
Green takes the shot, and Molly Dunham pulls up the save.
Big save from Molly.
Yeah, big save. That really could have got the momentum going for Western Australia. Sasha Polans, Sarah Mollison coming down to help clear the ball. Finds Beck Lane.
Just a little bit of there, but not quite at the moment for WA as Sarah Smith wide open.
Comes in and
huge
great
save.
Olivia Antulov has been huge for this Western Australia team.
And there we go. That's the outlet pass we were talking about. Nice hit inside.
Such a composed, accurate clear. She's one of our 23s goalies as well for representing Australia.
Eastman settles things down, and WA will get a chance to run some set offense now. Keenan just loses possession, but he'll track it down.
So Australia moving the ball well. A lot of pressure from the Victorians as well, stepping up to the ball. Great defense there from Becca Lane, and I think that's a push call. So if it's inside the fan, they'll get a clear fan. It looks like it's just outside, so the Victorian players can stay in there. And a great knockdown there from Sarah Mollison. Steph Mack clearing the ball. Finds Sarah.
Always aware, Sarah, of what's in front of her. So this time just pulls it out because not much there she was liking. They'll just settle the ball, Victoria.
Yeah. Might just try and get their breaths back a little bit.
Yeah,
Settle the game.
having played a bit of defence.
Yeah. They don't want to be going unless they're ready to run back into D. So, great dodge there from Lacrosse and excellent finish. So second for the game.
So hard to stop there, Lacrosse. Just so quick off the step and...
It's got a very hard dodge to stop.
Yeah. You look at where she was when she made the move and how quickly she got to where she let the shot off. It's just so difficult to be able to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, even when you know what she's going to do, speaking from experience, you know what she's going to do and she still do it every time. Got Lauren Hunter coming in for Victoria with Kate Hooper from Western Australia. And that'll be a redraw. Oh, it's a break. Western Australia will get the ball. Hooper with the ball.
Good D there from Sarah Smith. Just forces WA back out.
Mitchell driving on Lauren Hunter. That'll be a foul against Sarah Smith.
Now, where's this taken place, Bridget?
I think it's inside by the looks of it, so she'll have a penalty shot.
Shannon Mitchell with a huge opportunity to
finish.
put in WA second, and she does. We move up to 5 goals to 2. So both West Australia goals coming from
Penalty shots.
those penalty shots.
Rebecca Lane back in the centre with Kate Hooper. And looks like Taylor Cometto. Oh, great check there from Shannon Mitchell. And Shannon Mitchell will come up with possession for Western Australia.
They've been good in the middle, WA, but just the next step of clicking things together with their set attack.
Yep, Shannon Mitchell really making an impact this quarter. Just all over the field. Kate Hooper with the ball behind. Great drive. Great defense there from Victorians. Not letting her get that shot off. With Erin Mitchell. Shannon Mitchell again with the ball. Finds Riley McGee.
Over to Tegan Brown. Down low.
Back to Hooper.
So Hooper tries to see what is coming through the crease, but kicks it back high to Shannon Mitchell, now atop to McGee. So patient build up here from Western Australia. Feed inside to Brown.
That was well read by Stacey Wright to get a stick to that. Looks like she might have hurt her leg a little bit though.
So the pressure comes on Molly Dunnan from Tegan Brown, so she just has to heave it upfield, but Taylor Cometto worked hard to become the outlet. And they've spread well here, Victoria.
Yeah, Stacey Wright not looking too good, heading over to the bench.
Fingers crossed for her. We'll keep an eye on Stacey Wright.
Beth Lane bringing the ball down into attack. Finds Nellie Mollison behind. Victoria just taking their time, getting the ball around, everyone getting a touch. It's great defense there. It's a shooting space call by the looks of it. That was excellent defense from Shannon Mitchell.
Another big save from Antilov.
Victoria maintained possession with Nellie Mollison picking up that ground ball. And Erin Mitchell got that intercept.
So Stacey Wright just keeping an eye on her. Bridget just in the hands of the Victorian trainers at the moment. So
yeah,
good hands over there.
Yeah, we've got Adam Joff, physio, and Jen Plubb, trainer. So the Victorian girls are very lucky to have so much support. That's great D, Shani Brady. Unfortunately, looks like a push call.
Hooper drives on Mollison, gets a step back.
Over to Green. Back to Hooper. Down to Keenan. Keenan going for a drive and a good check there from Beck Lane. Keenan will remain possession.
Just keeps the ball behind that cage.
Great defense there from Beck Lane, really utilising going through that circle, which is quite a new rule to our women's game. Holly Plummer up the top with the ball. Great knockdown from Sasha Pollins and Victoria. Scramble for the ball. Ball will stay with Western Australia.
Hustle there from WA to win it back.
Yeah, very good hustle. Ball's back with Keenan.
So I'll be much more pleased with how things look at the moment. WA
Yeah.
just controlling the ball. Still trailed by 3, but much more settled.
Yeah. Emma Green with the ball going driving on Theo Quas, who's holding really good body D. Moves the ball to Riley McGee. And back with Keenan. So Western Australia doing a very good job at keeping that ball moving. And it's a great shot, but an
huge save there from Molly Dunham.
So it looks like there was a foul against Victoria. I'm not sure exactly what it was. I think there's must be a rule about the crease, about defenders going in the crease.
I was hoping that you might know that one, Bridget. But
I thought they were allowed in there, but it must be not exactly sure. Unfortunately, I'll have to follow up on that one. I think, yeah. So,
either way, Molly Dunham came up big with that save that time.
yeah. Looks like a push call there against Sasha Pollins. So Holly Plummer with the ball.
There's the cut around the crease from
Yeah.
Keenan, and she's just flicked it in.
Done a little hockey move and pulled off the shot. That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure that was Keenan
That was Bailey Rose Keenan, yeah.
putting that one in the back of the net. Just clever. Never gave up on the ball when it was down there.
Yeah.
So we see on
Just
the
flicks
replay
that
here.
one in. Yeah, and just flicked it in. Wonder if she has a hockey history. That looks like a great move.
It just shows the importance of being aware when the ball is on the ground of
Yeah.
your surroundings, and
Just not giving up as well. Just
definitely.
keep going for it.
So brings the margin back to 2 goals. Victoria leading 5-3. WA certainly right back in this one. So maybe a break there on Sarah Smith.
Either a break or an off-call push, it looks like she's called. Good, great check there from Haley Stefanis, and Sarah Smith comes back up with the ball.
So The wind picks up here at the Footscray Lacrosse Club. I think it's dropped a couple of degrees as well, Bridget. It's nice and fresh out here.
Sarah Smith on an open goal. Oh, great save. Another huge save.
How did she get that much space? But a huge save from Antilov. Really keeping the WA team in this at the moment.
Oh, great awareness there from Mitchell. That back check was coming for her, and she just pulled that ball into safety.
Mitchell beats Pollins on the inside.
And a great finish.
It is a game on here. Shannon Mitchell putting that one away. Her second goal of the afternoon.
It's very good. Just really showing her speed and agility there in that drive and her ability to really outrun her player and get back in on the inside.
Yeah, really open up that goal face, make it difficult for Molly Dunham, the goalkeeper.
Just over 2 minutes left in this quarter.
Beck Lane and Kate Hooper back in the middle. Been an interesting contest in here so far.
So, Victoria subbing. Something to do with Beck Lane's stick, I assume. Oh.
Maybe even a bit of a blood rule potentially.
Yes, it looks like it's a blood rule.
So just the trainer's overdo her hand by the looks of it.
Lauren Hunter takes that centre for Victoria, and Mitchell comes up with it. Push from Theoquas. Finds Kate Hooper. That's an excellent take by Kate Hooper.
Rides the contact well from Hunter.
Taylor Cometto up on the ball with Holly Plummer. Back to Mitchell. Down with Keenan. Driving, great defense from Steph Mack.
Kept there from Keenan as McNamara continued to apply the pressure. Up top to Brown now, Keenan again. Drives hard on Kirchheimer. Double comes. Where's the free player though? Here it is, Tegan Brown.
Driving in the centre. It's good defense from Sasha Pollins, and Lauren Hunter comes up with the ball.
Big ground ball there from Lauren Hunter.
Finds Sasha Pollins. Moves it to Sarah Mollison. And a
huge shot
finish
there. To say they needed that one, I think, is an understatement.
Great finish by Sarah Mollison.
Just keeps that 2-goal buffer now. Just a step back, 1 step on the turn. Huge.
Huge goal for Victoria there.
Huge effort.
Sarah Mollison really showing her experience there. How she maintained composure and just finished that shot.
Definitely. Lauren Hunter back in the middle for Victoria, so Beck Lane just must be just finishing her treatment. Looks like she's ready to go back shortly.
Final seconds of this second quarter, well, half. Like a little bit of trouble. Ball goes to Victoria. I think that's a break from Kate Hooper. Okay, just bringing it back. I assume to do with self-start. Sasha Pollins. And that's time. Oh, no.
So we're actually rolling the bell for a 30-second warning.
Oh, okay.
At this championship, Bridget. It has thrown me a couple of times.
There you go. Not the quarter. We still have 30 seconds.
So see Theoquas wind up here. That's one fly low.
Great finish.
Good finish there from Theoquas. And Western Australia would be probably a little bit frustrated with that one. They've been so good this quarter, but to have the lead back out to 3 on the seconds out from the half time. Fair course. Nice finish low. Antelof's been pretty good, but that one would have been a pretty handy save to keep that one out.
Yeah. Hard one to stop. Looked very quick. Very well placed. So centre players lining up on Victoria's offensive side. And Lauren Hunter winning that centre to herself. Probably hoping to get a quick goal here before the timer goes. Finds Nelly. Oh,
great
and a
save.
Great save there. Antelov has been huge for the Western Australians.
Long bong up the field. We've got
final seconds
Brown
to go.
on the end of it. Is there enough
She
time?
Ooh, no.
Just a little slip there,
Yeah,
and that'll be
it.
that.
So it brings the end to our first half.
7-4, Victoria leader. Probably a little fortuitous for them. They were absolutely dominated there by Western Australia. But
Yeah.
a couple of late goals to put it back out to 3.
Yeah, the West Aussies really gave them a run for their money. But still so much time left in this game, so much that can happen. West Aussies are playing, both teams are playing well. So it's not like the momentum's going in one way. I think both teams are getting a lot of the ball, getting those opportunities. Olivia Antelov has been huge for the West Aussies. So many big saves.
Definitely. Yeah, this scoreline could look very different had she not come up with a couple of those big saves out there. We just saw previously Thea Cross as well with a couple of goals, 3 goals as well.
3 goals, that's awesome, yeah. Also made a huge impact.
Definitely. So out there once again at halftime, we've got some of the Footscray Lacrosse Club youngsters. I think that's the under-10s out there having a bit of a run around. Enjoying what is a windy day down here at the Footscray Lacrosse Club. Got to get the parents to keep the goal from moving down. That's how much wind there is. But at halftime, Victoria lead by the 3 goals. So for Western Australia, Bridget, in this second half, more of the same from that second quarter, do you think? Just keep things going?
Yeah, I think just keeping possession of the ball. I think they've shown what they can do when they've got it. And I think just the centres have been quite competitive. I think just keep winning that ball out of the centre and keeping possession. I think they really stepped up in that second quarter, connecting the dots. Not as many sort of missed passes, and I think they'll just probably keep trying to build on that, keep the momentum. They're doing really good things all over the field, both teams. Both teams have had some great defensive efforts and obviously some awesome offensive finishes. I think it's just going to be a matter of who's got the ball the most. Both teams can have shown what they can do with it. The Mitchell sisters have been huge for Western Australia, just coming up all over the field. But Victoria have just shown their depth, I think, with their amount of goal scorers as well, like so many different scorers. So, yeah, it's really anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, we're set up for a second half thriller here at Angliss Reserve. As we take some time to thank the partners that help us get this event up and running. The 2022 Lacrosse Australia Men's and Women's National Championship is supported by the Victorian Government. And Xena partnering with our female high performance teams. Xena Performance Vest has been put through the highest standard of sports science impact testing via leading Australian universities to provide the best protection while being extremely lightweight and agile with no restriction to a player movement. Check out the range at xenasport.co. And of course, Sports Armour. Sports Armour provides comfort protective equipment for athletes to prevent injuries and enhance performance. Check out sportsarmour.com.au. Thank you to all of our partners for helping this event get underway. And what an event it has been, Bridget, this week here at the Footscray Lacrosse Club, from play commencing on Wednesday morning We've had play every day since, and yeah, we've seen some quality action on display.
Yeah, definitely. It's been such a great tournament. So quick, so fast. I think it's probably been one of the coldest senior nationals in many, many years. But it's been really good to see so many players at their peak performance. Just such a quick, great version of lacrosse.
Fantastic, and I think one of the highlights for me is seeing the teams from the different states, Queensland and New South Wales, out and about. They'll take a lot from this week. New Zealand out there as well, so fantastic to see the sport spreading far and wide. And of course, a big thank you to our hosts at the Footscray Lacrosse Club. Done a great job in conjunction with Lacrosse Australia to host this event. Our first national championship in 3 years.
Yeah,
So,
the last one was here, I believe.
Yes.
It's been done. Usually our nationals rotates between Victoria, South Australia and Western Australia, and I think we've missed two years, so we're right back where we were for our last senior nationals.
Exactly right, and with our youngsters clearing the field, we are not far away from getting back underway. Victoria, well, we talked a little bit about Western Australia. What about Victoria, Bridget? What do they need to keep in mind as we get this second half started very shortly? They opened the door for Western Australia, so this game is far from over.
Yeah, I think Victoria, they've got so much talent and so much depth, and I think they'll be looking to just keep pushing. Just keep getting the ball and just keep pushing those goals. They've got so many players with so much experience and so much talent that can score for them. So they'll just be looking to keep pushing and just maybe widen that score difference.
Definitely, and you can see Megan Mollison addressing the troops there, giving them their final words before they get back out there. Western Australian contingent discussing their final plans before hitting the park.
Looks like Victoria's other goalie, Paige McGibbon, is warming up, so they might be doing a goalie change in this second half.
Yeah, Lauren Hunter putting Paige through her paces before we get back underway here. Shannon Mitchell, the leading goal scorer for Western Australia, with 2 to her name. Thea Quass leading the way with 3 for Victoria. So we've already seen one national title head the way of Victoria this afternoon. The men taking that final win over Western Australia. The WA girls looking to prevent that from being 2. A 14-9 win to Victoria in that men's contest. It was a great game as well.
Definitely, I think those WA girls will be very hungry to get a win for Western Australia. And likewise, those Victorians will want that second win. It's always nice when you get them, you win not only one, but both national championships.
Yeah, the double, yep. Celebrate together, and of course, playing here in Melbourne, friends and family would be down here watching.
Yeah,
I'd love to be able to celebrate in front of them.
Yeah, a little bit sweeter on your home turf to take home a win.
Yeah, defend the home castle would be their hope. So Beck Lane looking to line up once again.
Yeah, I think Victoria's last loss for a senior nationals, their most recent loss was to Western Australia in 2018.
Yep.
So I believe, yeah, be a little bit of rivalry from that as well today.
We're just about to get back underway here. Beck Lane, Kate Hooper lining up for the first centre draw.
Little stretch there from Beck Lane, trying to get warm again.
And it is quite cool out there at the moment.
Just waiting for the umpires by the looks of it.
Yeah,
Players are ready to go.
Players are fit and firing and ready to go.
Yeah, I suspect sometimes the players don't like to wait the full 6-minute half time because it's freezing cold. It looks like maybe the umpires are being a bit stubborn, just taking their time. Sticking to the rules.
The ball has been up and back a fair bit. Maybe they need rest more than the players do.
So very interesting on the centre here. We've got both teams on Western Australia's attacking side, which you don't always see. Not sure what the move there is, if it's Victoria or Western Australia that have gone for that. Potentially Victoria have done it to clear up some space for Beck Lane to clear to herself. Or they all suspect the ball will go right where it did, and so they wanted the extra numbers around there. Great pick up there from Kate Hooper. West Aussies win the first centre draw for the second half. It's like a barge there or a free arm, so Sarah Smith will get the ball. The first offensive foul we've had yet this game. Beck Lane clearing the ball very quickly. Finds Hayley Safana, so we're looking to feed. Almost back to Beck Lane, but a bit of a fumble. And looks like we have offside from Western Australia, so Victoria will get the ball back. Beck Lane with the ball.
Of course, for anyone new to lacrosse, rules are, I guess, quite different in the men's and women's game. So, on your side, you'll see the black line as Sarah Smith just arrives that corner. The black line a little lower compared to the men. You have to worry about the centre line, keeping your numbers behind there. But obviously in the women's, that black line further down the field. As Western Australia have the shot back up and bring that back in action now.
Yeah, Mitchell with the ball.
Pass just missing there. Mitchell wanted it in front of her and just put behind, so Victoria will keep the ball.
So little turnovers from both teams early in this quarter. And they'll both be looking to rectify that. I think those really little mistakes are what sort of comes down to the end of the national championships, I think. They'll both be focusing to really minimise those little drop balls and just really hit their targets with their feeds and their passes. Sarah Mollison with a drive. That's great defence there from Bailey Rose Keenan. Finds Sarah Smith.
Good double team.
And another great defensive effort from Keenan and hits it to the goalie. So Antulov with the ball for the West Aussies. Finds Kate Hooper.
It's twice we've seen her stretching out and clawing in a loose ball. Does that well, and they're away here through McGee. Looks upfield Green.
And just another little fumble.
So just maybe the conditions potentially impacting the sides here, just cooling things down. Maybe they need a couple of minutes to warm back up and get back into the contest.
Yeah, still so much good happening on this field, but just those little 1%ers, the little missed passes, not quite hitting targets. Might be showing a bit of fatigue as well. They've had a long week of playing a lot of games.
As you said, Bridget, that team that was able to nail down the 1%ers a little quicker than the other will be the one that can capitalise the most.
Sarah Smith going for a drive. Finds Nellie Mollison, who's excellent cut there and great finish. So that's her second for the game. Victoria scoring the first score in the second half.
Yeah, Nellie just finding herself in plenty of space there.
She's very good at those backdoor cuts. See her play out, yeah.
Just ball watching a little, so Nellie able to make the most of that, find her way to the crease.
There's a little saying in women's lacrosse, once you see your girl's ponytail, you go. You backdoor cut, and I think Nellie does that very, very well. So Victoria putting 4 players back into their defensive side. So in women's lacrosse, for those who don't know, you just need to have, you're only allowed 3 on each team in this centre third for the first draw until possession is called. It does not matter where you decide to put the rest of your players. So you are allowed, oh, we've got a card there. It looks like a dangerous follow through. Oh, no, wasn't a dangerous follow through. It was a card on Steph Mack. It must have been a knock to the head. So Bailey Rose Keenan will remain the ball.
Yeah, first time in this match we'll see a team with a...
There we go, that's
we've seen the second,
that's the second card.
I was about to say for the first time we'll see a side with a player advantage, but no, it'll be...
Both teams will play man down.
Even strength.
And so because it's a double foul, we'll see a toss-up. Double breaks. Here we go, and Theo Koss getting the ball for Victoria. So we'll be seeing some 5-on-5 for the next 2 minutes.
Be interesting to see how that impacts things, a little bit more space.
I think it's a bit better for the offensive side. The more space, the better. Defensively, it might be a little bit trickier.
Yeah, certainly it'll open things up.
Beck Lane looking to capitalise on all that space. Looks like we'll have a foul. Nellie Mollison looking wide open there as well, and another great save.
Stood up absolutely big time, Olivia Angelov. She's been immense in this one. Keeping the West Aussies in this. Another good pass on the clear. Uses Eastman now out to Mitchell.
Back lane on Mitchell.
Good feed
Finds
inside.
her sister. And a great save. So that's Molly Dunham.
Yeah, so we didn't see the goalkeeper change.
Potentially just trying to stay warm. It's very hard with 2 goalkeepers. I think if one of them's playing well, you just don't want to mix up the momentum. Sarah Mollison bringing the ball down. Oh, that's a push there on Bailey Eastman. He was just a little bit too high on the body. I think the umpires wouldn't let that one slide. Finds Nellie Mollison, and another great save. Ground ball there from Sarah Mollison. Sarah Mollison in no rush. Victoria have a comfortable lead.
4 goals as it stands.
Yeah, there's no shot clock either in the women's lacrosse. There is in the Sixers version, but in our traditional world lacrosse version, there is not. So Victoria really just making use of that and just happy to take their time and wait for the right shot. There we go, and Theo Koss chasing back up from Sarah Mollison's shot.
So just as we bring the ball back into play, Sarah Mollison assesses her options. The cut comes from Kirchheimer, feeds it, and the shot just
another
wide.
Big save.
Was there a save in there?
Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe it was one.
Well, the cheers indicated there might have been a save,
One of them
actually.
was
So, and another one, that's definitely a save.
That one was definitely a save. Sarah Smith looking to put some pressure on here on Bailey Rose Keenan. Just taking her time, giving it back to our goalie. Antelov finding it. Nice clear there.
And the thing with goalkeepers is that once they get on a roll, their confidence builds, and it can be tough to get on top of them.
Such a confidence game, goalkeeping. It's very tough mentally, but I think you're right. When they're on, and it's very hard to get by them. So Victoria will have to work extra hard to get some more shots on the scoreboard. Meg Bound with the ball for Victoria. To Hayley Safanis. We've got a call, an off-ball call from our umpire. I think it's an off-ball push. So that'll be against Holly Plummer. So Hayley Safanis will remain with the ball.
Uses Sarah Mollison out to Taylor Cometto, now Theo Koss. Just that step again on the inside. Sarah Smith just hasn't quite clicked for Sarah so far. Had a couple of really good chances, but that's probably the impact of Olivia's unreal game in the cage, I think. Just
that one
putting
looks like
the pressure on the shots.
Came off her foot even.
So Olivia really keeping the West Australians in this as Victoria swing the momentum.
Definitely. Victoria having to work hard to get onto the scoreboard.
So we just bring the ball back in play. cut has come for Sarah Mollison. She hits Hayley Stefanos, and
that's an excellent finish.
that's the way you're going to beat Antelov at the moment. You just got to keep her on the move, and
Yeah. That's
can't
almost
stop that one.
That's a hard one to stop. Her back was to the ball by the time the shot came. It's such a very good feed as well to really find Hayley Stefanos' stick in amongst all those sticks.
Yeah, you
And a great finish.
you can just see Sarah driving that bottom corner, drawing the keeper across, and then once the pass is made, there's not enough time. So pretty much an empty net to be able to put it into.
Yeah. One of the only ways to beat a keeper that's playing that well. She can't save it with her back to the ball.
Exactly.
So Victoria did well to work around that. Extends the lead to 5 goals. WA still very much looking in this game though. That'll be a redraw. So Keenan and Lane setting up again. So we've got a foul. I believe they must.
Lauren Hunter might have just had a toe over the line.
Just toed over the line. So until possession is called, those players behind the line are not allowed into that centre third at all. Their sticks are, I believe, but not their foot. Yeah.
Mitchell.
Great drive there from Mitchell. Ooh,
wow.
I think that'll be a card there. Yeah, unfortunate.
We've just seen Steph McNamara return to the field, but
yeah, that looked like a hard hit.
our officials are just discussing.
Looks a little bit, yeah. I think whether it's 1 or 2. It looks like there were 2 sticks there. A little bit unfortunate. I'd love, yeah, to see the replay. Just she was moving so fast. That'll be Steph McNamara's. She'll be red carded out by a double yellow, so Steph will not be able to return, and that'll be a 5-minute man down instead of the 2 minutes. Yeah, a bit unfortunate. It didn't look super intentional. Almost looked like the sticks were already there.
And have we seen Shannon Mitchell also sent off?
That looks like a hard hit. She's been so huge for the Western Australian girls as well.
I think she might have also been shown a card, Bridget, because I only see 5 West Australian attackers out there. And
So we've had another double card. And, interesting what exactly the calls were there.
Yeah.
Just at the end of the day, we just hope that Shannon's okay. Looks like she's still holding her head a little bit. Kate Hooper with the ball for the Western Australians.
So depending on how long Shannon is off for, the West Aussies may still have that man-up opportunity for 3 minutes if she was just the yellow card.
Yeah.
Which is what we would assume would be the case.
Yeah, I think the foul has to be pretty major to get a straight up a red. And considering she hasn't had one yet, I'd assume it's just a yellow. Green with the ball, defended by Lauren Hunter. Over to McGee, moved it to Brown. Oh, and a quick pass and shot by Bailey Rose Keenan.
It's what they need, the West Australians, to get right back in this game.
It's a great feed to make as well.
Good vision, just
very long pass there, but
to be able to see through all the players and pick out the pass. It's a great look inside. A good finish on that bottom crease as well.
Very good play from the West Aussies. Down to a 3-point, or 4-point lead. Conflicting scoreboards.
So Hooper and Lane in the middle once again. It's been an intriguing battle from the centre draws. No real clear winner that we've had so far.
Yeah.
Been pretty even contest.
Yeah, Mitchell looks ready to. Mitchell is back on the field. Oops. What do we have? Are you? Oh. Okay, so that was on a swipe just before the whistle was blown against Bailey Rose Keenan. So swipe, a dangerous swipe towards the head, or close to the head. And we have a timeout from Victoria. What happening in the last 5 minutes?
There certainly is. And just when Western Australia were down there to have an opportunity for man up.
Just got their man up for about 30 seconds, not even, 10 seconds before it's gone back to even.
But they probably still would have a minute in there if it's that first penalty would have been simultaneous. So this one should run out just with about a minute left on Steph McNamara's red.
Yeah, and unfortunately Steph McNamara won't be able to return to the field with her red card. So Victoria will just, I guess, have to adjust a little bit, missing her presence. She's got a huge presence on the field, especially in the defence. Yeah, they'll just have to adjust.
Certainly, and I guess plenty of players out there that can fill in and do the job, which is one of the real benefits of that team.
Yeah, definitely. Umpire's blowing the whistle to return to the field because it was during play. The players' sticks remain on the ground. Another reasonably new rule in women's lacrosse, which isn't used very often here in Australia, being able to call a timeout in your offensive third when you have possession. That isn't very commonly used. Quite often, timeouts are called after a goal.
Yep.
But definitely very strategic there by Megan Mollison from Victoria.
Yeah, just able to take some of the sting out of it a little bit probably and reset things.
Yeah. And I guess a 5v5 attack isn't something you see a lot.
Antilov once again
Huge
stepping up to
serve.
the plate.
Double team there from Victoria. Means there is a Western Australian player free somewhere, and I think they've just found a Mitchell with the ball.
Beck Lane just powering down the field. What an effort.
There.
And wins the ground ball too. Not quite, but does well enough to get it back to Molly Dunham. What an effort there from Beck Lane. From the press up the field all the way down. Huge. Now Sasha Polnitz down.
Some pressure there from Bailey Eastman.
To Kirchheimer.
Lauren Hunter. Victoria just getting it into their offensive third. Ready to settle. There really is so much space out there with one less attacker. That's
Clever
almost
play.
a shooting space call there.
Sarah Smith is holding things up.
It's great defense there. It's shooting space on it. On Eastman. So Thea Kwas will have another penalty shot. Can she make it 4 goals for the game?
State League Grand Final MVP a couple of weeks ago, and well, maybe she's looking at a championship final MVP here. Thea Kwas, her 4th goal. Just a real big game player, and puts another one away to extend Victoria's lead to 5.
It's a great finish. And Tulov almost getting there, but not quite.
So I got a feel a little bit for Olivia Antilov. I wouldn't give you an exact number, but there'd be a decent portion of those 10 that she's conceded that have been from the edge of the fan from penalties. So
yeah,
she's done a fantastic job otherwise.
Yeah, her save percentage would be high, and she's got so many world-class attackers shooting on her. So many girls with so much experience taking those shots on her. And she's
Definitely.
done an awesome job to hold them out.
So the bell has been rung for the 30-second warning.
There'll be
And the
no
VICs.
self-starts. Finds Nellie Mollison, and a good deflect there from Green by the looks of it. Kirchheimer comes up with the ball. Looks like a shooting space call there. Sarah Mollison will have a penalty.
Can Sarah get it off before the whistle? She
Oh,
does. And another huge save from
Huge
Mantelov.
save.
Just
And
on the
that's
whistle.
Three-quarter time.
So Victoria extend their lead to 5 goals. They lead it 10-5 at the final break. In control of this one, Steph McNamara has been shown a red card, so we won't see her again this afternoon. But Victoria really dominating this one at the moment. WA still in it. Lead is only 5 goals, but here we see the goal scorers, Shannon Mitchell and Bailey Rose Kenny with 2 each for Western Australia, Tegan Brown with the other, and Thea Quast leading the way with 4 for Victoria, 2 to Stefanos and Danielle Mollison, and Ingalls to Mollison, Sarah Mollison and Beck Lane.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, to see this fourth quarter. Both teams very much in it, very much up with it. West Aussie's having to play a lot of defence in that third quarter. Probably be looking to hopefully get a little bit more centre possession, just maintain possession as well, maybe get into their offence and just take their time. But I mean, they've got to get 6 goals to win this in the next 15 minutes, so...
Well, 5 would do it, Bridget, just to send
good.
it to an extra period.
Yeah, if they've got the momentum, might work in their favour.
So they'll need to double their score pretty much if they're to have any say in forcing this one to overtime or even taking out the title.
Yeah, but I think we've seen how quickly goals can be scored, so no doubt it can definitely happen. If they get some momentum, so many quick goals have been scored in this game.
Yeah, we've seen Thea Quast line up a couple of times, a couple of big shots. She'd certainly have a name in the mix for final MVP for Victoria. Any one standing out for you, Bridget, for the VICs?
Like, who's down here? Definitely, yeah, I mean, Thea Quast has been big. Beck Lane just running through the whole field, both in attack and D. She's had a few knockdowns in defence as well. Done a lot of work in that centre as well to get possession. And then just, they've had so many goal scorers, even like Hayley Stefanos, Sarah Mollison, and Nellie Mollison, all doing a lot of work in attack, not just in finishing the shots, but in getting the shots set up and feeding. I think there's been standouts all over the field. Sasha Pollins has had a great game, quite a few knockdowns, and really could be anyone's game. And Molly Dunham still made quite a few saves as well.
And I think we could probably both agree that the WA one, Olivia Antolov, pretty far and away best on for them at the moment.
I think Shannon Mitchell has been really up there as well. She's got 2 goal scores and just so much hard work all over the field. Both the Mitchell sisters have stood out to me as well.
Well, they've got one more quarter to try and lift. The Mitchell sisters probably going to be important in that drive, but Victoria do start with the ball. And they get the first look at extending this lead early. Just good ball movement so far. Wayne winding up, gets the shot off.
Looks like it's hit the pipe. Victoria will maintain possession. Sarah Smith bringing the ball in.
Stefanos, such a great distributor from that X position. Wayne just a little fumble, nearly over the restraining line, but manages to keep it in. Feed inside to Smith. She's had a couple of looks this afternoon, Sarah Smith, and she gets on the end of one now.
Yeah, great finish there.
She's been there about this afternoon and she'd be pretty relieved, I think, to put away a nice goal there.
Yeah, Sarah Smith, huge down both ends, has had some great defensive efforts, worked hard in the centre, but probably very, very happy to get on the scoreboard as well.
Definitely. So the lead out to 6 now just makes it even tougher for Western Australia. The VIC's closing in on a double here at the Footscray Lacrosse Club. The men doing the job earlier, and now the women leading by 6. Theo Quast does well to win up the ground ball and
Finds Haley Stefanis. They've drawn the shooting space. Oh. Not too sure what exactly the call is. It's going to go back. Gonna go.
I think the player's just trying to work it out as well.
Yeah, so it must. So Haley Stefanis with a penalty shot. Some form of foul on Bailey Eastman. It may have been 3 seconds even. And they flagged it and then took the call back.
Wow.
Just off the pipe.
Antilov just all over it, just forcing the shots wide and really lifted. Stefanos, she might get another look here. Good feed inside. Smith just dumps it over to the corner. Sarah Mollison finds herself open, and Antilov once again. This is some sort of final she is playing.
Yeah, not an easy save to make. That one came from the opposite side of the goal, so she really had it back to the ball and was able to turn quickly and recover. So very impressive save there from Antilov.
And they're away through Shannon Mitchell.
Yeah, Beck Lane defending her. Mitchell doing well to take that pressure. Got Green behind the goal. A great D there from Shani Brady, but it looks like it's going to be a push call. Some form of foul. Ball over with Mitchell, looks to find Brown. Doesn't quite come off, but West Aussies remain possession. Green up the top. Mitch,
Finds
just
the
on
outside of the net there.
So that's goalie's bowl. Ball will stay with Molly Dunham.
Yeah, Molly Dunham still in the cage. Done a good job, so rather than throwing a cold goalie in, just keep Molly in there.
Sarah Smith finds Lauren Hunter. Some great defense there from Mitchell. Lauren does well to get around.
Keeps going. Just settles with Haley Stefanos behind the cage. Cut coming from Theo Quast now. Rewards the run. Finish there from Theo Quast.
Finish. Is that a 5th?
I think that's number 5 for Theo Quast. It was just about a week and a half ago that she scored the same amount here on a Friday night to secure Footscray Premiership, and now she's banged in 5 to help Victoria to a senior national title. Just a big game player. Theo really loves the occasion.
Loves a bit of pressure.
It's such an underrated thing to be able to have in your armoury, I think. That so many players, so many great players potentially get to that stage and can't cope, but
Yeah.
to get there and have no drama with it, it's an impressive trait to have in her tool bag.
And consistently as well. I think it's huge. So we've got a break there from Emma Green. So Lauren Hunter will get centre possession. Finds Quast. Ball's back with Haley Stefanis. Over to Meg Bound.
A great experience for Meg Bound being out there amongst all these players on the big stage.
Yeah, her first senior national championship.
And she hits the
there
scoreboard
she
too.
goes.
What a finish too.
Way to
That'll
make
be a
me
goal
feel.
to remember, and the players get around her. Look at the celebration and the smiles on everyone's face. That's great to see.
Huge moment for Meg Bound. Great goal, great finish.
What a finish too. Talk us through this
There
one,
you go. Her
Bridget.
player gets drawn there, really takes that opportunity. Like I said before, saw her player's pigtail, saw her player go, have to sort of slide for Thea Kloss, took her opportunity and finished it off greatly. That'll really lift the Victorian spirits.
Not a bad finish at all, coming around that crease and just finding the far corner.
Yeah, especially on a goalie like Antelov, who has had such a phenomenal game. So really stretched that lead out.
Yeah, 8 goals to lead, just in the blink of an eye nearly. So the Vics will need, the WA team will need pretty much 1 minute from here if they're to
I really need
work their way back in.
possession. But Victoria's still fighting very hard. That's a card there for Sarah Smith, just a little tap on the head. This is the opportunity I think the West Aussies need. Play a bit of man up, see if they can capitalise. So she can't self-start because they called time for that card.
We have seen a few cards shown today, but one of the first actual man-up opportunities because we've seen quite a few simultaneous ones.
Yeah, there we go. And a great save, big save there from Molly Dunham to really spoil that momentum.
But just
But
knocking
just
in
a
on the
bit of a
crease.
check there on the thing, and West Aussie's back with the ball.
Well, one there from Western Australia. They'll need to go
Brown
fairly quickly every time they have the ball.
got another call here. It's like something off, but I think that's a 3 seconds call. Taylor Comino might have just had her foot in the fan. I think if your foot is on the line, you can't be in the fan for more than 3 seconds without a player. So she probably just had her foot on the line there and got penalised. Kate Hooper with the ball.
Nice
Oh,
feed
great
inside.
feed in there. Found Holly Plummer, but unfortunately just did not come off on the shot and doesn't look like they had the backup. So Taylor Cometa will bring that ball in. Over to Molly Dunham.
And once again, as
West
we've
Aussies putting the pressure on. Almost
Yeah.
paid off.
the extra number coming to help. Just so
Alright.
quick with the ball. She's doing it in and out of the cage
Mitchell,
at the moment,
yeah.
Antelov. Runs into a bit of trouble, just needs to get the ball off, I think.
Needing a bit of support. I think she's not allowed to go back into the crease.
Should be able to roll it back though, Bridget, is that right?
I
Roll it
thought
back and
so,
then take
but
possession?
she was avoiding it, so she might have been a bit worried to mess with that. I've seen a few goldies done with that. I think she probably could have rolled it in. So push there from Haley Stefanos. So that's a
Victoria fans not too happy with that call on Haley
with that
Stefanos.
controversial call there. I think if it's a big push, umpires are able to call it a card. If it's a significantly large push.
Yeah,
So-
just as Haley is sent off, Sarah Smith's foul has ended, I believe, so it should just be
Just man down for the
just still
one
the
man down.
5, yep.
So West Aussie's being provided with the opportunity. They've got quite a bit of man-up minutes now. Let's hope for them that they can capitalise. Kate Hooper with the ball almost had the chance, but just a bit of a fumble, and Vic's come up with the ball. So going to be a lot of pressure for them.
They've turned it over here, though.
And just another try, going for another little hockey shot. So the goalie will be looking to clear quickly. Molly, with that man down, it allows field players to put a lot of pressure on the goalie. So Molly getting that ball out really, really quick. Over to Meg Bound. Sarah Mollison. I think Vix will be looking to run down the clock now. They're man down. They don't want to play more man down defense. So look at them getting wide. They're just going to try and run down that clock. And there's a bit of a goalie change as well for Victoria. So Paige McGibbon coming onto the field for the first time, while Beck Lane is just holding the ball. Going and gets the shot, and a great goal.
The quality of their shots has really lifted, I think, in this second half, Bridget. They've really known that, all right, Olivia's really on her game here. We've got to put it away in the pick our spots well, and that's exactly what Beck's done there. That's such a tough shot to save there.
Yeah, great play there by Beck Lane. So we have a timeout to Western Australia, I believe.
Yep.
With just over 5 minutes left to play in this game. And a 9-point lead to Victoria.
So you'd think that this one would be home and hosed at this
Yeah.
stage. 9 goals is pretty difficult to make up in such a short amount of time.
I think it was a bit closer. Victoria might look to hold the ball, but I think because they've got such a comfortable lead, we might find that they just keep going. They can afford to lose 1 or 2 goals to the West Aussies.
And potentially that's why we see Paige McGibbon out there, just get her some game time in the final and make the most of the occasion. As we see our goal scorers up there, Thea Quast leading the way with 5 goals, leading all comers. Maybe she'll be hunting a couple more to try and get her hands on that final MVP, add it to the trophy cabinet. That is steadily building up.
I actually think she got it last senior nationals
Wow.
in the final. From memory, I'm pretty sure she did.
Well, it just stands to our point, doesn't it? That
The
love standing up for the big moment. Beck Lane and Holly Plummer now in the middle for Western Australia.
Here we go. Last 5 minutes.
High ball.
And Sarah Smith gets a stick to it, and Theo Koss coming up with possession. Over to Beck Lane.
So it looks like Haile Stefanos doesn't have too much longer left on her time on the bench.
And Victoria just keeping the ball wide. Not taking any unnecessary risks. But like I said, they can afford to do a little bit. We've got quite a decent scoreline there, quite a big lead. But yeah, just looking to keep the ball wide.
Stefanos now released from the box, so she's back out on the field. We're at even strength once again.
Okay, getting a touch straight up, Haile Stefanos.
Sarah Mollison, Theo Quast.
Just gonna go again.
Number 6.
Great dodge, such a hard dodge to start. Looks like it's just come off the pipe. Sarah Smith picks it up.
Big check.
Some form of a call there against the West Aussies. Not exactly sure what it was. Sarah Smith with the bomb. Haile Stefanos finds Nellie Mollison. And another great save by Antelov. Mitchell with the ball, carrying it down. Victoria putting a lot of pressure on. So we have Bailey Eastman bringing it down. A lot of pressure from the Victorians. A great check there by Beck Lane. Oh, that's a foul against Shani Brady, so she's called a push. Check was all okay though. Hooper with the ball, over to Brown. A bit of a fumble there, and Victoria's picked up the ball. Great ground ball there from Sasha Pollins. And a lot of pressure there from the West Aussies. So that's a dangerous swipe call there. Too close to the head.
Had
So
a
that's
great
like
start to
another
this.
card.
Yeah, had a great start to this game, Tegan Brown, but
Yeah, I think
the-
that's
the
her
Vics have done well to sort of keep her
second.
out of it. Is that her
Yeah.
second, is it?
Oh, maybe not.
There's been
Could
a lot
possibly
of a
be.
lot of cards. It's been hard to keep
Yeah.
track of.
It's hard. I think that just showed a bit of desperation as well. The West Aussies really need the ball back. So she just was doing what she could, I guess, to try and get it. just over 2 minutes left in this game. Sarah Mollison finds Nellie Mollison, who finishes and puts it to a 10-goal lead for the Victorians.
Yeah, party time now for Victoria. They can just enjoy the remaining couple of minutes out there. Nellie Mollison putting that one away.
So 4 points there for Nellie Mollison. Another big game. So we have Taylor Cometto and Holly Plummer taking this centre draw. Push and shove there between Mitchell and Smith. Looks like Mitchell will be given the ball.
Western Australia see if they can push for one final goal here in the closing stages.
Victoria looks to be in a backer defense. Not too sure. They're putting a lot of pressure on. Lauren Hunter coming out the ball definitely paid off. Good back check there from Mitchell.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. Lauren Hunter, another great ground ball. Over to Paige McGibbon. Paige McGibbon finds Meg Bound. Clearing it down for Victoria, just under a minute to go. Hayley Safanis finds Theokos. Over to Taylor Cometto. Nellie Mollison with the ball. A lot of pressure there from the West Aussies. Sarah Smith comes up with it. Western Australia putting a lot of pressure on. Victoria looking very composed. Being happy to just run down the clock. Good carry there from Taylor Cometto over to Meg Bound. And Hayley Safanis with the ball in the final seconds. Finds Nellie Mollison, and a great save there from Antilov.
She's really stood up and had a great game. She'll be able to be proud of her effort in this final, Olivia Antilov.
Any second now, Rachel Kirchhammer, and
that'll be that. That goal won't count. That is the full-time 15-5 Victoria. They do the double. Women's national champions. They had to wait a couple of years, but the title is theirs once again. Congratulations to Victoria. Women's winners, 15-5 over Western Australia. Bridget, what are your thoughts on as we wrap this one up?
Huge game. Massive congratulations to Victoria, and also big congratulations to Western Australia. They fought so hard to get into this final, and they were really, really up there for pretty much the whole game up until Victoria got away at the end. So I think I'm really excited to see Western Australia come back in coming years. They did have a few key players that weren't able to play as well. So I think very exciting to see next time these two teams face off.
Yeah, exactly right. And for the Victorians, it's party time now. the men's and women's teams both winning the national titles on their home turf in Melbourne. They'll be absolutely wrapped with that. And impressive performances from both teams in the finals. Western Australia really pushed the Vics the last time that they met, and they were able to do so at points today, but just the strength of Victoria too much for Western Australia in the end. 15-5 winners as we have a look at our goal scorers. Thera Cross leading all comers, 5 goals, 1 assist. Nellie Mollison with 3 and 1. Beck Lane 2 and 0. 2 goals to Shannon Mitchell and Keenan for Western Australia.
Big crowd there with the Victorians.
Yeah, plenty of people around, and
Yeah, huge support staff for that
means
team.
a lot for them. This would be a big cheer.
A very big
There
happy
we go.
cheer.
Big cheer there for the Victorians as we take a look at some of the highlights from this one. Victoria dominate most of them. They had a fantastic game. Such great ball movement inside, Bridget. Just crisp and clean.
Yeah.
And even at parts early they struggled a little bit, but found their way and just so good.
Yeah, so many great assisted goals there.
You just see how much they were enjoying it out there as well, which is great to see. We play the game because we love it.
There's
And
Meg
that's
Bound.
It's probably the highlight of the match, I think, that one.
Yeah, I think that got the biggest celebration from the teammates. Just so many different players in that Victorian team, taking their moments.
It's going to be exciting to see a lot of those players feature in the green and gold not long from now in both the World Games and the World Cup. So plenty of lacrosse coming up.
So much, yeah.
Yeah.
And the under-23s.
And the under-23s.
Can't forget them.
There's
Yep.
so much happening. It's an exciting couple of months. An exciting couple of months coming up.
Yes, very exciting for women's lacrosse, both men's and women's. But especially the women's, sending 3 teams over to the US in the next month or two, which
Certainly.
is so exciting.
Definitely. We'll just stay with you as we bring you our final MVP out here.
Yeah, it looks like West.
Team's just heading over shortly. Looks like Victoria are pretty happy where they are at the moment. They will
Yeah, no
have to-
rush.
have to head over shortly so that we can hand out our MVP awards for the final. If you had to pick a couple, Bridget, what are your final picks? Who are you giving the medal to?
I think for Victoria, Lacrosse was huge.
Yep.
I don't think they're gonna go past that. But I mean, Beck Lane, Nellie Mollison, Hayley Stefanis all had really good games. Sarah Mollison, even Molly Dunham. There's so many players they could give it to. Points wise, I think Lacrosse really stood out. But then yeah, so many opportunities, so many options.
Exactly, and for WA, we set on
I think.
On Olivia Antilov. The Mitchell sisters are also pretty good.
Yeah, I think those 3 really, all really stepped up. Even Bailey Rose Keenan did a lot of great things out there.
Yep.
Tegan Brown, really big in the first half, especially getting them on the scoreboard at the start. Kate Hooper, taking a lot of centres. Yeah, a lot of players really stepped up out there, and we might have even missed some.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. So a big thank you to all of our partners that helped bring the 2022 Senior Nationals to you over the last week. The Victorian Government, the 2022 Lacrosse Australia Men's and Women's National Championship, supported by the Victorian Government. To Xena, partnering with our female high performance teams. Xena Performance Vest has been put through the highest standard of sports science impact testing via leading Australian universities to provide the best protection while being extremely lightweight and agile with no restriction to a player movement. Check out the range at xenasport.co. And to Sports Armour. Sports Armour provides comfort protective equipment for athletes to prevent injuries and enhance performance. Check out sportsarmour.com.au. Thank you to all the partners who helped bring this event to you over the last week. While we're waiting for the MVP, they should have gone straight over there, but we'll just hold fire for the moment. I will just run through a couple of big thank yous as well to Scott Gill and everyone at ALN, Tim Kennedy, everyone behind the scenes that have helped make this week possible. A huge thank you to everyone involved there. To have lacrosse brought to you here on KO is a fantastic opportunity, and something that we hope to continue our game moving forward. To Lacrosse Australia, a fantastic event run this week, the first in a couple of years, so they've done a great job bringing you this event here. to the Footscray Lacrosse Club for hosting the event. They've done a great job running things once again. And to my co-hosts over the last couple of days, Simon Lovett and Bridget Hogan, thank you for your time. Hopefully we've brought some great insights and some coverage that hopefully gets our game out there and continues to promote it in the great light that it is.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully we got some new supporters.
Exactly
from
right.
tuning in.
And if you're a new lacrosse fan and you'd like to get involved, I'd suggest just head to lacrosse.com.au. There's contact details there. You can find your nearest club near you. If you're in Victoria,
Yeah,
search Lacrosse Victoria, or your relevant state around the country, South Australia, WA. Plenty of different options to get involved. Men, women, boys, girls. There's something for everyone. So plenty of lacrosse available to watch. We're just waiting to see what our teams are doing.
Yeah, they appear
We might just wrap up our stream there. So if you're tuning in for KO, thank you very much for watching. We look to bring you more lacrosse action in the coming weeks and months. It's fantastic to be here, and thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you.
WA, thank you for an awesome game. It's been an amazing week of lacrosse with so many girls that are heading off to play for Australia. Thanks, Theo. In a couple of weeks. It's just a really good preparation for us all. So well done. And your MVP, it's becoming a habit. Liv, your goalie.
Thanks very much, Victoria. It was a hard-fought game today. I think the score may not have reflected the game, but thanks very much. Today your MVP goes to number 6, Sasha Polnitz.
Can I get everybody's attention just up here? We'll make a start with the closing ceremony. First and foremost, welcome all of you down to the Footscray Lacrosse Club. My name's Tim Kennedy. I'm here in my capacity as the editor of the Australian Lacrosse Network. I'd like to begin today by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather today, and I pay my respects to their elders past and present. And I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders peoples here today. I'd like to welcome all our Lacrosse Australia directors. Scotty. Sorry, that didn't happen during the KO feed, I believe, so I think we're all good. I'd like to welcome the chair, Adrian Burns, who's going to be up here shortly to say a few words. I'd also like to welcome our Lacrosse Australia directors, Carolyn McLucky, Mark Polden and Paul Mollison. I'd also like to welcome Vivian Parker-White and Ted Hobbs, who will also be coming up and will be part of these ceremonies. With our ceremonies today, we will present the 2019 and 2021 Best and Fairest Awards to the best players in Australia. We will present today this year's All-Star teams and event MVPs. We will present medals to the officials from the gold medal matches. We will present the Mary Pickett Trophy to the women's tournament winners. We will present medallions to the championship winners. and we will also present the championship trophies to the winning teams. At this point, I would like to start by saying again how great it is to see everybody back here. I think it's no secret it's been a long 3 years, and it's probably quite fortuitous and appropriate that we meet back here on the Footscray Lacrosse Club soil where we all met 3 years ago. But what's particularly encouraging that despite what the world's throwing at us, the size of the tournament has swelled massively. And I'd like to, of course, welcome New Zealand. Great to see our friends from New Zealand from across the ditch for coming over. I'd also like to welcome USC. I don't know if they're here still. So if they are here, a big welcome to USC. But for the first time in 83 years, we have Queensland and New South Wales competing this year. And as much as I enjoy doing championship games, they're getting a little dull when you play VIC and SA all the time. But seeing you guys out here this week has been absolutely massive, and we really hope to see you guys keep coming back more and more. At this point, I'd like to invite the Lacrosse Australia Chair, Adrian Burns, to come forward and say a few words.
Thank you very much, everyone. You might appreciate that this is my very first official role. I was elected to the chair of the board very recently, and never had to do this. And as an Englishman who's got Kiwi heritage, I find it quite interesting being in this role. However, I think it's also fabulous that we've got 5 states here, and for me it's great to be able to do this at the place where I came for my first Australian Nationals way back in 2003. And having Footscray host this event is absolutely fabulous every time it happens here. I think back then we played on the AstroTurf, and I've seen the grounds here pretty terrible, but the weather's held off. We've had a good day today, and the grounds are in fantastic condition. My role here is very simple. I'm just here really to thank the Australian government for the Victorian government, not the Australian government, for supporting Lacrosse Australia in holding this event here at Footscray. I'd also like to thank the Footscray Lacrosse Club volunteers and the officials and committee of this club for their support of the Australian Nationals. I'd like to thank the players and the coaches who have brought their teams here. After, I think 2019 was the last time we were able to hold this event. So it's absolutely wonderful, and it's even better that we have Queensland and New South Wales here. And one of the Queensland players earlier was telling me that they've learned so much day to day, and they've grown in this tournament. And hopefully one day they'll be able to score a few more goals than they have this week, and be competitive in the tournament. And I can say that from the basis of having seen New Zealand here again in 2003, when they came and got absolutely demolished by everyone, but had a wonderful time and made a similar statement. And then this week they've been a little bit competitive. That's the tournament, but great to see the players here and the teams from the States. We only need to grab Tassie, so if you know anyone in Tassie, if we could get Tassie here, that'd be wonderful, because they're they've dropped off a little bit. My next thank you is to the umpires, the referees, and officials, coaches who've come out here today. It's always a challenging job, but I watched both finals, and the people picked to be on the field did a wonderful job. So that can't have gone that bad all week. Being an umpire and a referee myself, I know how tough that can be. And, you know, it's an ungrateful position sometimes, but they've done a wonderful job all week. My last thank you has to be to ALN. And I'm just going to mention, I think Tim was going to mention KO for taking the ALN feed. It's been great to have such a higher profile of the sport. You can now go online, you can tell your mates, watch what's happening. You can tell your friends, and you'll be able to even go and watch it, and have a look at the history. It's great to have organisations like ALN putting out what is a really high-quality feed and a really high-quality commentating. And then last of all, these events aren't really events without the spectators and supporters who've come out here to support their teams. So thank you very much to those people too. Tim? Over to you, Tim.
The next person I'm going to ask to come up here, I think, is the leader of probably the real heroes of this week. And I think we all agree that Footscray Lacrosse Club has put on an amazing event for us again here this week. It amazes me every time I come back here, the level of support that they have within their club to be able to put on an event of this magnitude. And to that end, firstly, before we invite him up, I'd like another big round of applause for Footscray, guys. They've done an amazing job. And I'd like to invite the king of the Bulldogs, Tim Lane, to come up and say a few words.
Thanks, Tim. I'll keep it short. I want to thank all the teams for coming out here and putting on a great show at our club. From the officials to all the states and New Zealand as well. It's been really good to watch the games. They've been of a really high standard, and it's great for lacrosse in this country. But Tim just mentioned it. It's been mentioned a few times. But the team that I'm most proud of for this week is the team of volunteers that you can see over the back there, who seriously. What you find out if you host a tournament of this magnitude is what your club's really about. And I can tell you right now, the amount of effort that's gone in and the amount of time people have given up to put on a great show, Footscray Lacrosse Club's in a great place. So I am really proud of this team. Another round of applause, and thank you all again for the week.
Thanks, mate. At this point, before we start handing out some silverware, and just off the back of that, as we talked about, we were able to, and fortunate enough to be able to get the ALN feed out on KO this week, which has been really tremendously received. My phone's been blowing up all week with people I haven't spoken to for years who have been able to turn on Foxtel and see lacrosse on the big stage. That didn't just happen. That took a lot of work behind the scenes, and I want to give a big shout out to Mal Lovell over here at the Footscray Lacrosse Club. The big thing that stopped us from doing it was whether we could get an NBN connection here in time. The club didn't have one, and we know, government sometimes can move quite at a glacial pace. But Mal and the Footscray team did an amazing job, and it was only last week we were able to get an NBN connection here so that we could even consider getting on KO. So a massive round of applause to Mal Lovell there. Amazing job. And, of course, it doesn't happen without the team sitting here over the shoulder. These guys don't pop up on posts and they try and hide in the background there, but there are a couple of big thank yous I do want to give. One is to Lachlan Williams, who stepped in as Victorian arm of the ALN. Soon to become the new voice of the ALN. He's doing an amazing job. But the biggest one's the tech geek. I call him my streaming ninja. God knows how he does it, but he does it every time. He's been able to somehow get all this happening at every tournament around the country. Big round of applause to Scott Gill, everybody. Now, at this point, we just go back. We're going to present the 2019 and 2021 Best and Fairest Players Awards. And these are, for those that don't know, these are the Shelley Marr Award and the Isaacson Trophy. These are awarded to the players that are adjudged to be the best state league player, men's and women's, in the country. We cross over between all the various competitions, calculate all the votes that go through around the country, and we award one winner from the men's and the women's. In short, Dummies Guide, it is the highest individual honour we have every single year for a player in Australia. And this year with COVID, unfortunately, we haven't been able to acknowledge these winners previously. So we'd now like to ask, firstly, the 2019 Shelley Marr recipient to come forward and collect her award, and that is from Western Australia, Madison Copeland. And I'd now like to call forward the 2019 Isaacson Trophy Award winner, and that is Lachlan Walker. Okay, and in 2021, the Shelley Marr recipient from the Woodville Lacrosse Club was Olivia Parker. And the 2021 Isaacson Trophy winner from the Wembley Lacrosse Club was Braden Panting. Now, Adrian's going to stay up here with me, and we're now going to announce the 2022 All-Star teams. And we're going to start with the men's team. The goalkeeper, we're going to start with the goalkeeper from Victoria, Sean Aaron. In defence from South Australia, Shane Webber. From Victoria in defence, Jeff Melsop. Jeff also wins the award for Best Crop Top. And the last defender from Western Australia, Ashby Dennis. In the midfield line from South Australia, Luke Keesing. In midfield from Victoria, Sean Clark. And in the midfield from Western Australia, Sam Koswara. In the attack line from South Australia, Jack Price. In attack from Victoria, James Lawson. In the face-off from South Australia, Garrett Briggs. And the coach from Victoria, Lee Davies, but we'll call up Terry Sparks instead to come and get it for him. And the official is Tim Kennedy. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2022 All-Star team. MVP's coming up. We'll come over later. I'll come over later. We'll keep it rolling. Okay, we'll now move on to the women's All-Star team. And we're going to start with the goalkeeper from South Australia, Addie Cunningham. In defence from South Australia, Laura Evans. In defence from Victoria, Rachel Kirchheimer. And the final defender from Western Australia, Bailey Eastman. In midfield from Victoria, Theo Quass. In midfield from South Australia, Olivia Parker. And the final midfielder from Western Australia, Tegan Brown. Moving on to attack. From Victoria, Sarah Mollison. From Victoria, Rebecca Lane. And our last attacker, also from Victoria, Hayley Stefanos. The coach is Megan Mollison from Victoria. And the official is Tammy Varga. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2022 Women's All-Star team. Congratulations. Okay, we're now going to move on to the presentation of the Ted Hobbs Trophy and the LA Trophy, which is presented to the best and fairest player of the tournament and championships. And first of all, I'd like to call up Ted Hobbs, who's going to say a few words and present the Don Hobbs Trophy.
Thank you. Just a few comments from an oldie, but it's been great to be back involved with the state championships or the Australian championships as manager of the South Australian senior men's. It's been terrific to see the scale of it and the expanding number of teams from the states as well. One of my fondest memories going back is having had three brothers and myself all involved in our South Australian senior state team, which is quite a memory going back a lot of years. So the four of us. But it's been fantastic to see the games and see the skill involved in the game now. That it's quite exceptional, and I'm sure whoever does win this trophy coming up will be a very fitting winner.
Well, that said, I've got to point out that there's going to be two, so we have a tie. The first winner, to build the suspense, from Victoria is Sean Clark. And the other winner from South Australia is Jack Price. Congratulations, Sean and Jack. I'll now call forward Adrian Burns to present the Lacrosse Australia Trophy. And again, like the men, we have joint winners this year. From Victoria, Sarah Mollison. Our second winner from South Australia is Olivia Parker. Congratulations, Sarah and Olivia. We now move on to today's matches, and I'd like to call forward Adrian Burns to call out today's officials in the gold medal games.
Thank you very much. And we're doing the women first, Tim? Yeah? We got them there? No. All right. Our charge official today was Tammy Varga. Umpire Amy Basil. You have to forgive me, Amy. I never get your name right. Yeah. Umpire Natalie Owens. And our bench official, Kelly Morley. Well done. Now I understand why I'm reading these out. For the men's game, our head referee today, Tim Kennedy. Referee, Kim Panton. Nice work, Kim. And referee, Rick Smithson. He had to go. I believe Rick's had to go to catch a plane, so we'll sort him out afterwards. Frosty will probably just keep it. Chief bench official, Danny Whitbourne. Hardest job on the field, if you ask me. And bench manager, Steve Green. Who's Timmy? Yeah, Timmy needs a picture. All right, we're now going to do the championship medals and trophy. The winning team this year, for those who did miss the final, was Victoria. Well done, Victoria. And captains, Sean Aaron, Caleb Howell, and Sean Clark. Can you come up to the front, please? And they're going to call them out. Who's going to...
All right. We'd just love to start by thanking Footscray Lacrosse Club again for the great work they've done this week to get the fields done, all the work off the field. It's been fantastic, and you know, coming out of COVID after 3 years, it's awesome to be back playing again. So yeah, just another round of applause. Thank you. We'll start with the players. I'd like to call up Ben Newman, Martin Hyde, Noah Jenny, Lachlan McDonald, Darren Ricketts, Timothy Dobson, Robert Buckhorn, Brendan Freeman, Harry Pototnik, Flynn Abrams, River Bradley, Christopher Moffat, Jeffrey Melsop, Lucas Parsons Quintio, Jimmy Lorison, Campbell McKinnon, Stephen Stoikas, also Peter Quass. We've said Chris Moffat already, thank you. Then we've got team manager Wayne Butson, assistant coach Christopher Plum, stand-in head coach Terry Sparks, and 2 COVID apologies, Lee Davis and Dylan Harari. Thank you very much.
And I think this is This is quite possibly my favourite trophy in all of Australia. For those who don't know, it's the Garland McHarg Championship Trophy, and this championship trophy was donated to Australian lacrosse 115 years ago. So it's quite possibly one of the most valuable items that we have in Australian lacrosse. And I'd now like to have Adrian Burns to present the Garland McHarg Championship Trophy to this year's winners, Victoria. Okay, we're now going to move on to the women's tournament and championship, where we're going to be presenting the Mary Pickett Tournament Trophy to this year's tournament winner. And we're also going to be presenting the Joy Parker Perpetual Championship Trophy to this year's championship winner. Now, I'd like to call up the captain of the Victorian team, Stacey Morlang, to introduce this year's Victorian team.
God, stitched up again. Again, just going on what Shawnee said, a massive thank you to Footscray Lacrosse Club. You guys always do a beautiful job, but this has been awesome. It's been a great atmosphere and a great vibe, and I know the Victorian girls have had a great time, but it's awesome to see all those other states here as well. So thanks for coming and making the effort. I know we've had a wonderful time, so we hope all of you guys have too. Am I just calling them out now? Yes? Theo Kwasa. Quasi, Hayley Safanis, Sarah Sezelpop Smith, Esther Lavelle, Rachel Kirchheimer, Rashawn Brady, Taylor Cometto, Lauren Hunter, Meg Bown, really testing my name knowledge here, Steph McNamara, Molly Dunham, Becky with the good hair Lane, Shaylee Stringer, Nellie Mollison, Stacey Wright, Sasha Polnitz, Paige McGibbon, Small Sarah Mollison, Megan Mollison, Macca McSolvin, Adam, Nobsy, Erin, Jen. Who else have I missed here? Noah, sorry, forgot Noah. I think that's it, yes? Who am I giving this to? There you go, you're welcome.
No worries, thank you. And of course, Stacey Morlang, everybody. Now, the first trophy we're going to present is the Mary Pickett Tournament Trophy. And I'm going to have Adrian Burns to present this one. And that is to this year's winner, Victoria. No, not yet. You got one more. You want more? You don't want any more silverware? And now I'd like to call up Vivian Parker White to present the Joy Parker Perpetual Championship Trophy to this year's winners, Victoria. Congratulations. Okay, now, just as we're just about done here, I can see everybody starting to freeze. But before we wrap it up and I hand over to Adrian, obviously this is just the start, everybody. It's been an absolutely amazing week, as we said. But at a national level, we have the under-18s next month, which is going to be fantastic to see our under-18s back in action in Adelaide. And then, of course, later in the year, we'll invite you all over to sunny Perth, where it's definitely not this cold. But we'll have you over there for the under-15 nationals. And then we come back here again for the box nationals as well in November. So there's a hell of a lot of lacrosse still to go in 2022. But more importantly, on behalf of everybody here, we would like to wish our Australian women's national team all the best of luck at the World Championships later this month. We'd also like to wish all the very best our inaugural Sixers teams who will be competing in Birmingham, Alabama later this month and next month. To our men's and women's Sixers teams, all the best, guys. And finally, they've probably done it as hard as any national team in memory, but I would like to make a special shout out and wish them all the very best. It's been an incredibly long road, boys. But I have no doubt that our Australian under-21 men's team are going to do us proud in Limerick in August. So, best of luck over there, guys. That's enough from me. I'm going to hand it over to Adrian to officially close the tournament.
Thank you very much. I think Timmy just stole my thunder. I was going to wish all those teams the best for their tournaments. I don't really need to do that. But what I would like to do is thank you all for coming. Thank you all for playing. It was absolutely wonderful to see some lacrosse being played again in a really competitive environment. It was played in a great spirit, and we had some great finals. And I would also, on behalf of Lacrosse Australia, like to wish the teams that are travelling overseas the very, very best, and hopefully we can get on the medal boards. Ironically enough, Tim did miss one little group from his Hope You Go Well in the Worlds and the World Games in Limerick and at Towson. And that's our officials and umpires. So I hope you all go well too, and we can see if we can get some World Games finals, umps and refs in the mix. Oh, yeah, and the under-23 girls as well. Yeah, where are they going? Yeah. I do have one minor correction to Tim's summary of my of the tournaments and stuff that are going on, because I was going to say hopefully we'll see you all in SA next year. There hasn't been a venue nominated yet and decided upon for the senior nationals. I was going to say good luck to all of those who are coming to the 18s in SA at Brighton and enjoyable sunny Perth apparently. Not sure it's always that sunny there, but the one thing that Tim did mention was the Box Nationals. The Box Nationals has been mooted for November, but the date has not yet been decided. It could be in November or it could be in February. But we will announce that as soon as we possibly can. As I said before, thank you all for coming. It was a wonderful tournament. Great to see lacrosse being played again in Australia at this level. And hopefully we won't have many more or any more pandemics that are going to interfere with the competition. It's only going to go from strength to strength, and good luck overseas.
All right, there we have it. For those of you still tuning in, Lachlan Williams still behind the microphone here. We just brought you the closing ceremony there. Victoria coming away victors in the both men's and women's competitions. As we said earlier, we'll just summarise all the thank yous that were just said there. A big thank you to everyone at the Footscray Lacrosse Club, a fantastic event this week. Thank you to Lacrosse Australia, all of our partners involved in helping run the event. And particularly to everyone involved with ALN, to our camera operators, Cade Robinson for filling in yesterday. Jess Stone has done a fantastic job today. Tim Kennedy for heading up this fantastic organisation. Everyone else involved, and a big shout out to Scott Gill for his work behind the computer this week. The Vic Government, Sports Armour and Xena, fantastic partners of this event. Well, that about wraps us up for the 2022 Senior National Championships. There is a heap of lacrosse coming your way in the next couple of months, plenty of Australian action, so stay tuned to the ALN social channels for updates on when you'll be able to watch that. But for now, Lachlan Williams, live from the Footscray Lacrosse Club for the last time from the 2022 Senior National Championship. Signing off. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.